My sister's kids knocked on my door at 2:00 a.m. Their parents locked them out again. So I taught her a lesson she will never forget. I need to get this off my chest because what happened 3 months ago still keeps me up at night, but not for the reasons you'd think. Sometimes doing the right thing means watching someone you love face consequences they brought on themselves. And I'm still processing whether I'm the hero or the villain in this story. My sister Natalie has always been the golden child. Growing up, she could do no wrong in our parents' eyes. She got straight A's without trying, married her high school sweetheart, Brett Morrison, at 23, and had 2 picture-perfect kids by the time she was 30. Meanwhile, I was the perpetual disappointment, the one who took 6 years to finish college, who couldn't hold down a relationship, who chose a questionable career in freelance graphic design instead of something stable. Family dinners were torture sessions, where Mom would ask pointed questions about my life while praising Natalie's latest achievement. I bought my townhouse in Riverside 5 years ago, right around the corner from Natalie and Brett's McMansion. Big mistake. What I thought would be convenient for family gatherings turned into my personal nightmare. Natalie had 2 kids, Emma, who's 10 now, and Tyler, who just turned 7. Sweet kids. Honestly, that's what made everything so much worse. The first time it happened was back in June, about 8 months ago now. I woke up to frantic knocking at 1:47 in the morning. I stumbled downstairs in my pajamas, disoriented and terrified, thinking someone was dying. Instead, I found Emma and Tyler on my doorstep in their pajamas, Emma crying and Tyler shivering in the cool night air. "Aunt Tanya, we can't get back in," Emma sobbed. "The door's locked." My blood ran cold. I ushered them inside, wrapped them in blankets, and immediately called Natalie. The phone rang 8 times before going to voicemail. I tried Brett. Same thing. I must have called each of them 15 times over the next hour while the kids fell asleep on my couch, exhausted from fear and adrenaline. Looking at those 2 small bodies curled up on my sectional, I felt a protective rage I'd never experienced before. Emma had her arm draped over Tyler, even in sleep, trying to shield him. They'd walked 3 blocks in 40-degree weather, wearing nothing but thin cotton pajamas and socks. No shoes. Tyler's lips had a faint blue tinge when I'd first opened the door. I made hot chocolate, even though they were already asleep, just in case they woke up. Then I sat in my armchair and stared at my phone, willing it to ring. Every scenario ran through my mind: car accident, hospital. Something legitimately catastrophic that would explain why 2 parents would leave their children vulnerable like this. But deep down, I knew this wasn't an emergency. This was negligence. Natalie finally called me back at 4:30 in the morning, her voice thick with sleep and annoyance. "Tanya, what's wrong? Why are you calling so much?" "Your kids are at my house," I said, trying to keep my voice level. "They've been here since 2. They were locked out." There was a pause, and then she laughed. Actually laughed. "Oh my God, really?" "Brett and I went out for drinks with his work friends, and we thought we'd be home before they woke up. They must have had nightmares or something. Can you just keep them for a few more hours? We just got to bed." I wanted to scream. Instead, I said, "Natalie, they were terrified." Emma was crying. Tyler was shaking from the cold. "They're fine now, aren't they?" "You're so dramatic. We'll pick them up around noon." She hung up. I sat there staring at my phone, rage building in my chest like a pressure cooker. But what could I do? Call the cops on my own sister? Our parents would never forgive me. I'd be the one who destroyed the family. The hours until morning crawled by. I checked on Emma and Tyler every 20 minutes, adjusting blankets, making sure they were breathing steadily. Around 6, Tyler woke up crying from a nightmare. I held him while he sobbed about monsters chasing him, and it broke something in me. This 7-year-old had been brave enough to walk through the dark to find safety, and his reward was a mother who laughed it off. I made pancakes for breakfast because that's what you do when you don't know what else to do. Emma woke up around 7:30 and came into the kitchen rubbing her eyes. She didn't mention the night before. Instead, she asked if I had any orange juice, her voice small and polite, like she was afraid of being a burden. "You can have whatever you want, sweetie," I told her, and her face lit up in a way that made me want to cry. We spent the morning watching cartoons. Tyler sat pressed against my side, his small hand clutching my sleeve like I might disappear. Emma kept glancing at the door, anxiety evident in every fidget and movement. They were waiting for their parents with a mixture of hope and dread I recognized from my own childhood, wanting to see them, but afraid of what mood they'd be in. Natalie and Brett finally showed up at 1:30 in the afternoon, a full 90 minutes late. They looked refreshed and cheerful, stopping by Starbucks on the way, based on the cups in their hands. Natalie wore designer sunglasses and a casual outfit that probably cost more than my monthly car payment. Brett was scrolling through his phone, barely acknowledging that they were picking up their children from an emergency situation. Thanks for watching them. You're the best. Natalie sang out, breezing past me into the living room. Come on, kiddos. Time to go home. Emma gathered her things quickly, efficiently, like she'd done this before. Tyler moved slower, reluctant to leave. When Natalie reached for his hand, he pulled back slightly, barely noticeable, but I saw it. Natalie, can we talk for a second? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Outside. She sighed dramatically, but followed me onto the porch. Brett stayed inside now, playing some game on his phone, while the kids stood silently beside him. What happened last night can never happen again. I started, but she cut me off. Oh my God, Tanya, relax. The kids are totally fine. You act like we abandoned them in the woods or something. We just lost track of time and they walked to your house. Big deal. They're 7 and 10 years old. They were locked out of their house in the middle of the night. That's not losing track of time. That's neglect. Her expression hardened. Don't you dare use that word with me. I'm an excellent mother. Brett and I work hard, and we deserve to have a social life. Not all of us sit at home alone every night with nothing better to do. The dig landed exactly as she intended. This isn't about my social life, it's about your kids' safety. And they were safe. They came to you, didn't they? Look, I know you don't have children of your own, so you don't understand how parenting actually works. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes plans change. That's life. The kids are resilient. Natalie, I really don't have time for this lecture. We have birthday party shopping to do. She turned and called into the house, Brett, kids. Let's go. They left without another word of thanks. Emma looked back at me, once her expression unreadable, before climbing into their Mercedes SUV. I stood on my porch long after they'd driven away, feeling helpless and furious in equal measure. So I let it go. I made the kids breakfast, let them watch cartoons, and when Natalie showed up at 1:30 in the afternoon, not noon like she'd promised, she barely apologized. Thanks for watching them. You're the best, she said, like I'd agreed to a planned babysitting session. I told myself it was a one-time thing, a mistake. Natalie and Brett had too much to drink and made a terrible judgment call. It wouldn't happen again. Except it did. 3 weeks later, in early July, same scenario, desperate knocking. After midnight, terrified kids, unreachable parents. This time Natalie's excuse was that they'd gone to a concert in the city and their phones had died. Besides, she added when she finally came to collect Emma and Tyler the next afternoon, you live right around the corner. What's the big deal? The big deal is that your children are 10 and 7 years old, Natalie. They shouldn't be wandering the streets at night, trying to find safety. She rolled her eyes. They walked like 300 feet to your house. Stop being so overdramatic. Not everyone can sit around all day working from home with no responsibilities. That stung. It was designed to. Natalie had perfected the art of making me feel small our entire lives. But I bit my tongue because those kids were standing right there and they didn't need to witness their aunt and mother fighting. It kept happening. Through July, it happened twice more. August brought 3 incidents. September, another 2. By October, I'd stopped being surprised when I heard that dreaded knock in the middle of the night. There would be Emma and Tyler sometimes crying, sometimes just resigned and quiet, which was somehow worse. I started keeping the guest room made up with their favorite blankets. I bought the cereal they liked and kept juice boxes in the fridge. I became their default safe house. And while I loved those kids, I resented the hell out of my sister for putting me in that position. Each incident followed a similar pattern. The late-night knock, the frantic calls to Natalie and Brett that went unanswered. The kids falling asleep on my couch while I paced, anxiety eating me alive. Then, hours later, a casual call back with some excuse. Dinner party ran late, concert went longer than expected, got caught up at a networking event. Never an apology, never acknowledgement that what they were doing was dangerous and wrong. The 4th time it happened, I tried documenting everything in an email to Natalie. I laid out my concerns clearly and calmly. I explained that the kids were scared that this pattern was harmful, that I was worried about their safety. I sent it at 300 in the morning while Emma and Tyler slept in my guest room. Her response came at noon the next day. Wow, Tanya. Didn't realize you were keeping score. Maybe if you had your own life, you wouldn't be so obsessed with mine. The kids are fine. Stop being dramatic. I called our mom after that, hoping she'd intervene. Mom listened to my concerns, made sympathetic noises, and then said, Honey, I'm sure Natalie knows what she's doing. She's always been so responsible. Maybe the kids just like staying with you. You should be flattered they feel so comfortable. Mom, they're not choosing to come here. They're being locked out. Oh, I'm sure it's not like that. Natalie mentioned that you've been offering to take them more often. It's sweet that you want to be involved. The gaslighting was so smooth I almost believed I'd misremembered everything. Almost. By the sixth incident, I'd established a full routine. I kept a drawer stocked with new toothbrushes, children's toothpaste, and pajamas in both kids' sizes. I had nightlights in the guest room and a basket of quiet activities for when they couldn't sleep. I'd learned which YouTube channels calmed Tyler down and which snacks didn't upset Emma's sensitive stomach. I became an expert in middle-of-the-night childcare, all while Natalie and Brett partied or socialized or did whatever the hell they were doing while their children wandered through dark neighborhoods looking for safety. The pattern started affecting my work. I'd be exhausted during the day, unable to focus on design projects because I'd been up until dawn with scared kids. I started taking quick naps in the afternoon just to function. My client reviews mentioned that I seemed distracted and my response times were slower than usual. I was running myself into the ground being the backup parent my sister refused to be. And through it all, Natalie maintained her perfect image. Her Instagram was full of carefully curated family photos, Emma and Tyler grinning in matching outfits, carefully staged family game nights, Brett kissing her cheek in golden hour lighting. The captions were all about blessed motherhood and grateful living. Her friends commented about what an inspiration she was, what a wonderful mom. I'd scroll through those posts at 300 a.m. with her children asleep in my house and want to scream. The incident in early November was different. It was getting colder now, and I'd started worrying about what would happen when real winter hit Minnesota. Emma and Tyler showed up at my door at 12:30 a.m., and while they weren't injured, Emma told me something that made my blood run cold. Emma and Tyler were on my doorstep, and this time they were in genuine danger. Tyler's teeth were chattering so hard he couldn't speak. Emma's lips were purple. They'd been outside for almost 20 minutes trying to get into their house before giving up and coming to me. I rushed them inside, ran them a warm bath, and called Natalie and Brett repeatedly. Nothing. I was on the verge of calling 911. Terrified Tyler might have hypothermia when Natalie finally called back at 2:17 a.m. What? She sounded annoyed, music thumping in the background. Your kids almost died tonight. Oh, stop being dramatic. Where are they? Where the hell are you? Brett's company holiday party. It's at this amazing rooftop venue downtown. You'd love it if you ever got invited anywhere nice. My hands shook with rage. It's minus 15 degrees. They were outside for 20 minutes trying to get in. Well, they got to you, so everything's fine. Can you keep them tonight? We got a hotel room downtown. Don't want to drink and drive. Something in me cracked. You got a hotel room. You plan to be gone overnight. Yeah, it's a party and breakfast thing. Very fancy. Brett's trying to make partners, so we have to schmooze. You understand? No, I don't understand. Come get your kids right now. Tanya, don't be ridiculous. It's after 2 in the morning and we're downtown. Just keep them for the night. We'll get them tomorrow afternoon. If you don't come get them, I'm calling the police. She laughed. No, you won't. Because then Mom and Dad will know you're trying to sabotage me and they'll never speak to you again. Just be a good one for once and help out your family. She hung up. I stood there shaking fury coursing through my veins. She was right. I didn't call the police. Instead, I tucked Emma and Tyler into my bed with me, kept them close to monitor their body temperatures, and didn't sleep at all. The worst part, our parents had no idea. Natalie had spun some narrative to them about how I loved having Emma and Tyler over for sleepovers, how it was so nice that Tanya finally had some purpose. When I tried to tell Mom what was really happening, she brushed it off. Your sister works so hard, Mom said over lunch one day. Brett's been putting in long hours at the firm. They deserve to unwind. And you've always said you wanted to be more involved with the kids. This isn't about being involved, Mom. They're leaving Emma and Tyler home alone in the middle of the night. Oh, Tanya, don't be ridiculous. Natalie would never do that. The kids probably just prefer staying with you sometimes. You've always been jealous of your sister's life. I gave up trying to convince her. Dad was even worse. He thought I was being attention-seeking and trying to tear down Natalie's marriage. In their eyes, perfect Natalie could do no wrong, and I was just the bitter younger sister making things up. I started seeing a therapist around this time. Dr. Patricia Chen was a godsend, the first person who didn't make me feel insane for being concerned. She listened to everything the years of being compared to Natalie, the current situation, with the kids, my parents' dismissal of my concerns. You're in an impossible position, she told me during our third session. You're being used as free emergency childcare while simultaneously being told you're overreacting about legitimate abuse and neglect. Hearing someone call it what it was, abuse and neglect, made something shift in me. I'd been avoiding those words, trying to soften it in my mind. But that's what it was. Natalie and Brett were neglecting their children and using me to cover up the consequences. What are my options? I asked. Dr. Chen leaned forward. Legally, you could report this to Child Protective Services. Emotionally, you need to decide if you're willing to deal with the fallout. Your family will likely side with your sister. You could lose relationships you've had your entire life, but the kids would be safe. The kids would have a better chance at safety. Yes, I sat with that knowledge for weeks, turning it over in my mind like a stone. Every time I decided to make the call, I'd imagine Mom's face when she found out, Dad's disappointment, Natalie's rage, the family gatherings I'd never be invited to again. Was I strong enough to be the villain in their story, if it meant being the hero in Emma and Tyler's? The incident after New Year's happened on a frigid January night. I'd been tracking everything by then, writing detailed notes in a password-protected document, dates, times, weather conditions, visible signs of distress on the children. I'd started taking photos of them on my doorstep with timestamps. I kept screenshots of every unanswered call and ignored text message. This time, when Emma and Tyler showed up at 1:33 a.m. on a Tuesday, they weren't physically hurt, but Emma's emotional state worried me even more than the previous incidents. The next morning, I called Robert Caldwell, the family law attorney my cousin had recommended months ago when I'd first started worrying. I told him everything. He listened without interrupting, and when I finished, he was quiet for a long moment. Ms. Warren, what you're describing is a clear pattern of neglect and endangerment. The fact that they're physically locking the children inside the home escalates this significantly. You have grounds to report, and honestly, I think you have an obligation to. My family will hate me, probably, but those children could die. House fires, medical emergencies. God forbid someone breaks in and the kids can't escape. You're not the one putting them at risk. Your sister and brother-in-law are. You're just the one refusing to stay silent about it anymore. The breaking point came on a Saturday night in February. I'd been working a major project for a client, pulling 70-hour weeks to meet a deadline. I was exhausted running on coffee and spite, and I'd finally finished. I took 2 Tylenol PM at 11:30, and by midnight I was sleeping harder than I had in months. The knocking started at 2:14. I know because I checked my phone when I finally regained consciousness, disoriented and drugged from the sleep medication. For a moment I thought I was dreaming. Then the knocking came again, more urgent. I dragged myself downstairs and opened the door. Emma and Tyler stood there, but this time was different. Tyler had a bruise on his forehead. Emma was bleeding from a scrape on her knee. What happened? I pulled them inside, my heart racing, the fog of medication burning away with adrenaline. Emma's voice shook as she explained. We tried to stay inside this time, we really did, but Mom and Dad left at 9, and then Tyler had a bad dream, and I couldn't calm him down, and he was crying so loud. I thought they'd come home if we just waited, but they didn't. So we tried to go outside to come here, but the front door was locked from the outside. We had to go out through Tyler's bedroom window. My hands started shaking. Tyler's bedroom was on the 2nd floor. They climbed out onto the garage roof and jumped down to get to me. That's how Tyler got the bruise, and Emma scraped her knee badly enough to bleed. I cleaned their wounds with trembling hands, gave them juice and cookies because I didn't know what else to do, and called Natalie and Brett over and over. No answer from either of them. I tried Mom, tried Dad. It was the middle of the night, and they didn't pick up. My hands wouldn't stop shaking as I dabbed antiseptic on Emma's knee. She winced, but didn't cry out, and that composure in a 10-year-old child facing pain terrified me more than anything else. She'd learned not to make a fuss. She had learned that her needs were inconvenient. Does it hurt a lot? I asked softly. It's okay, she whispered. I'm sorry we bothered you again. Those words destroyed me. A child apologizing for seeking safety. I pulled her into a hug and let myself cry, something I'd been holding back for months. Emma hugged me back, and I felt her small body relax against mine like she'd been holding tension for so long, she'd forgotten what it felt like to let go. Tyler sat on the couch, his bruised forehead catching the light, and I examined it more closely. The skin hadn't broken, but the swelling concerned me. He could have a concussion. He could have broken bones. They jumped from a 2nd-story roof because they couldn't get out any other way, because their parents had physically locked them inside like prisoners. Tyler Buddy. How did you land when you jumped? I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. On my feet first, but then I fell forward, he said matter-of-factly. Emma helped me up. It didn't hurt that much. The adrenaline must have masked it. I checked him over carefully, no obvious broken bones, pupils equal and reactive, moving all his limbs without difficulty, but I wasn't a doctor. He needed to be checked properly. Emma's knee had required careful cleaning and 3 butterfly bandages to close the deeper part of the scrape. At 4:00 a.m., after Natalie still hadn't called back, I decided even if she showed up tomorrow with some excuse, even if she took them home and promised this was the last time, I couldn't let this continue. The escalation was too dangerous. Next time one of them might not be so lucky. Next time Tyler could break his neck jumping from that roof. Next time there might not be a next time. At 4:00 a.m. I made a decision that would change everything. I called Child Protective Services. My voice shook as I explained the situation to the intake worker. I gave dates, times, details of every incident over the past 8 months. I told them about tonight, about the window, about the injuries. The worker listened quietly and told me someone would follow up within 48 hours. Then I did something I'd been avoiding for months. I pulled out my phone and opened the voice memo app. Every single time Emma and Tyler had shown up, I had the presence of mind to record the timestamp, take photos of them on my doorstep, screenshot my unanswered calls to Natalie and Brett. I had 8 months of documentation. I sent it all to CPS and to my attorney, Robert Caldwell, who I'd consulted 3 weeks earlier when I finally admitted to myself that this couldn't continue. Emma and Tyler fell asleep around 5. I didn't sleep at all. I sat in my living room drinking coffee and waiting for the fallout I knew was coming. Natalie showed up at 2:00 p.m., Sunday afternoon. She didn't knock. She had a key to my place that I'd given her years ago for emergencies. She stormed into my living room where I sat with Emma and Tyler watching a movie, and her face was red with fury. "What the hell did you do?" she hissed, trying to keep her voice down, but failing. CPS showed up at our house this morning. They questioned us. They interviewed the kids. They're talking about an investigation. I stood up slowly. "Maybe you should take this outside so the kids don't have to hear." "No, I want them to hear what their aunt did to their family." She turned to Emma and Tyler. "Did you know Aunt Tanya called the police on Mommy and Daddy? Did you know she told them we're bad parents?" Emma started crying. Tyler looked confused and scared. Something inside me snapped. "Get out of my house." Natalie's eyes widened. "Excuse me?" I said, "Get out. Take your kids and leave, and give me back my key on your way out." "You can't be serious. You call CPS on me and then kick me out." I walked to the door and held it open. "I documented every single time your kids showed up here in the middle of the night. Every unanswered call, every text message where you dismissed my concerns. Last night they climbed out of a second-story window because you locked them in the house. Tyler has a head injury. Emma's knee required 3 butterfly bandages. I have photos of everything." The color drained from Natalie's face. "You've been documenting for how long?" 8 months. Every incident. I gave it all to CPS. I gave it all to my attorney. If anything happens to me, if I suddenly have an accident, or you try to retaliate, it all goes to the police automatically. I was bluffing about the automatic release, but she didn't need to know that. "You're insane," Natalie whispered, but there was fear in her eyes. "Now, our parents are going to hear about this. I already told them multiple times. They didn't believe me, but CPS will." She grabbed the kids and left without another word. I locked the door behind them and finally let myself cry. But before she walked out, something else happened that I'll never forget. Emma pulled away from Natalie's grip for just a moment and ran back to me. She threw her arms around my waist and whispered, "Thank you, Aunt Tanya. I love you." Natalie's expression when she heard that the shock, the hurt, the rage would have been satisfying if the whole situation weren't so tragic. She yanked Emma away roughly, and I saw Emma flinch. Another thing to add to my mental catalog of concerns. As soon as they left, I called Robert Caldwell to give him an update. He told me to document Natalie's threatening behavior, her refusal to acknowledge the danger she'd put her children in, and especially the way she tried to intimidate the kids by making them witness her confrontation with me. "She's escalating," Robert warned. "People like your sister don't respond well to losing control. Be prepared for her to lash out in any way she can. Document everything. Save every text, every voicemail, every email. If she shows up at your home again uninvited, call the police." His words proved prophetic within hours. The next 72 hours were hell. My phone exploded with calls and texts. Mom left me a voicemail calling me vindictive and cruel. Dad sent a text saying I was dead to him. Natalie's friends started commenting on my social media, calling me jealous and evil. Brett's brother Scott left a review on my business page, calling me an unstable psychopath. But the worst came from Natalie herself. She sent me a text at 11 p.m. that night. "You just destroyed 2 children's lives because you're a miserable, lonely woman who can't stand to see me happy. Emma and Tyler will grow up knowing their aunt tried to tear their family apart. I hope you're proud of yourself." Then came the emails, long rambling messages, sent at all hours, alternating between begging me to recant my statement and threatening legal action for defamation. She CC'd our parents on several of them, performing her victimhood for an audience. In one particularly unhinged message sent at 300 a.m., she wrote an entire narrative about how I'd always been jealous of her, how I'd been waiting for years to sabotage her happiness, how this was revenge for childhood slights and perceived favoritism. The gaslighting was masterful. She twisted every incident, reframed every fact. According to her version, the kids had sleepwalking issues that they were getting treatment for. The locked doors were safety measures because Emma had a history of wandering at night. The window escape was exaggerated, and actually they just climbed out to play, not because they were trapped. She painted herself as a concerned mother dealing with difficult children, and me as an interfering aunt who'd misunderstood innocent situations. My business took a hit. 3 clients emailed to pause their projects, citing vague concerns about professionalism and personal issues. I knew Natalie had gotten to them somehow. Another client, someone I'd worked with for 2 years, called to terminate our contract, admitting under pressure that Natalie had contacted her with concerns about my mental stability. I consulted Robert about potential legal action against Natalie for business interference and defamation. He advised me to document everything but wait to see how the CPS investigation played out. Right now, he said, she's scared and acting defensively. If you escalate with lawsuits, it could actually work against you in the CPS case. They want to see adults who can cooperate for the children's benefit. So I took the hits. I watched my reputation get shredded on social media. I read hateful messages from people who had never met me but were convinced I was a villain. I lost income and clients and probably future opportunities. And through it all, I held on to the fact that Emma and Tyler were safer now than they'd been in months. But I also got a call from my CPS caseworker. An investigation had been opened. Home visits would be conducted. The kids had been interviewed at school, and their statements corroborated my reports. "I know it doesn't feel like it right now," the worker told me gently, "but you did the right thing." A week later, Robert called me with an update. "CPS found evidence supporting your claims," he said. "They're not removing the children from the home, but Natalie and Brett have been mandated to attend parenting classes and undergo regular home visits for the next 6 months. If there's another incident, the kids will be removed." I should have felt vindicated. Instead, I felt hollow. The family fallout was nuclear. Mom and Dad refused to speak to me. Natalie told everyone who would listen that I tried to steal her children because I was jealous of her perfect family. Thanksgiving came and went without an invitation to my parents' house for the first time in my life. Christmas was the same, but something shifted. Emma started texting me. Just little things at first, pictures of her art projects, questions about homework. She told me she felt safer now. Tyler sent me a drawing of us together with the words, "Thank you, Aunt Tanya," written in crayon at the bottom. I framed it. 3 months after I made that call, I got an unexpected visitor. Dad showed up at my door on a Tuesday evening, looking older than I'd ever seen him. "Can I come in?" he asked quietly. I let him in, made coffee, and waited. "Your mother and I were called in for an interview with CPS," he said finally. "They showed us your documentation, the photos, the recordings, everything." I didn't say anything. "We didn't know," he continued, his voice cracking. "Natalie told us you were exaggerating, that you were trying to make her look bad. We believed her because, well, we've always believed her." "Yeah, I know. I'm sorry." He looked at me with tears in his eyes. "I'm so sorry, Tanya, for not believing you, for choosing her side without even listening to yours, for making you feel like you weren't enough your entire life." I started crying, then ugly tears I'd been holding back for 32 years. "Do you know what it's like to be the disappointing daughter? To know that nothing you do will ever measure up?" "I do now," he said, "because I'm the disappointing father. The one who failed to see what was happening to his grandchildren, the one who punished his daughter for doing the right thing." We talked for 3 hours that night. He told me that seeing the evidence had shattered his image of Natalie, that he and Mom were in therapy trying to process their role in enabling her behavior, that they were ashamed of how they treated me. "What about Natalie?" I asked. "She's angry. She blames you for everything, but the mandated classes are helping. I think she and Brett haven't left the kids alone since the investigation started." Emma and Tyler seem happier. He paused. She may never forgive you. I know, but those kids are safer, and that's what matters. Mom came around a few weeks later, though our relationship is still fractured. She apologized, but there's a distance now that I don't think will ever fully close. Some broken things can't be completely fixed. Natalie still won't speak to me. We're cordial at family events, but that's it. She's never acknowledged what she did, never admitted she was wrong. In her mind, I am the villain who destroyed her reputation over nothing. Our parents know the truth now, but 20 years of golden child treatment don't disappear overnight. Part of them still sees her as the victim in all this. But I sleep better now. I don't jump awake at every sound terrified I'll find those kids on my doorstep again. Emma and Tyler are safe. That's what matters. Last week, Emma asked if she could come stay with me for the weekend, a real sleepover planned and approved by her parents. Natalie allowed it probably because refusing would have made her look bad to CPS. Emma and I made cookies, watched movies, and she told me about her school play. On Sunday morning before I took her home, she hugged me tight and whispered, "I know Mom's mad at you, but you saved us. Tyler and I talk about it sometimes. We know what you did. Maybe I'm not the villain after all. Maybe I'm just the person who loved them enough to risk everything to keep them safe. And if my sister never forgives me, if my family never fully trusts me again, if I'm always seen as the troublemaker who ruined Natalie's perfect image, well, I can live with that. Because Emma and Tyler are alive and safe and no longer climbing out of second-story windows in the middle of the night. Sometimes love means making people hate you. Sometimes protecting children means destroying your relationship with their parents. Sometimes doing the right thing costs you everything. But I'd do it again in a heartbeat. The funny thing about revenge is that it's not always about getting even or making someone suffer. Sometimes the best revenge is simply refusing to be complicit anymore. It's stepping back and letting consequences happen naturally. It's loving someone's children more than you fear their hatred. Natalie thought she could keep using me as her backup plan while treating me like garbage, that I'd always be the doormat little sister who took abuse to keep the peace. She thought wrong. My relationship with my parents is healing slowly. They're trying to make amends to see me as my own person, rather than Natalie's inferior shadow. Dad takes me to lunch every Friday now. Mom invited me to go shopping last weekend, just the two of us for the first time since I was a teenager. It's awkward and sometimes painful, but it's something. As for Natalie and Brett, the CPS mandated classes have apparently been a wake-up call. According to Dad, they've started couples therapy and individual counseling. The kids are thriving. Emma made honor roll and Tyler joined the soccer team. They're not perfect parents now, but they're present ones, and that's a start. My business is doing better than ever. Turns out that standing up for what's right, even when it costs you everything, builds character and confidence. I took on bigger clients, raised my rates, and started teaching online courses in design. The passive income has given me freedom I never had before. Some people say I should have handled it differently, that I should have tried harder to work it out with Natalie privately. But I did try. For 8 months, I tried talking to her, to my parents, to anyone who would listen. Sometimes there's no perfect solution, no way to fix things without breaking them first. Emma texted me last night. Mom and Dad are taking us to the movies tomorrow. They asked what we wanted to see. They're actually asking us stuff now. That's my revenge. Not destruction or suffering, but change. Real, meaningful change that protects two kids who deserved better. If Natalie hates me forever, but loves her children better because of what I did, then I'll take that trade every single time. I'm not the golden child. I never will be. But I'm the aunt who was there at 2 a.m. when nobody else was. I'm the person who chose children's safety over family approval. I'm the woman who finally stopped being a doormat. And you know what? That's more than enough.